Hi, I'm Eric.
And I'm Ralucą.
And today we are going to help you having conversations to know certain topics to talk about. And in the meantime you can learn a little bit more about us, since because of the pandemic situation you can't come in person to the library. So, start.
So we can start. Let's start with some ice-breaking question. How old are you, Eric, and what are you currently doing here?
So I'm 21 at the moment, and here in the library I'm as a volunteer here from European Solidarity, and I'm helping a little bit with projects and all the stuff here, as you saw, small videos, etc. Yeah. And you? What's your age?
I'm 24. I'm also working with you here. We volunteer here at the library. So we mostly do educational videos and assist in like the day-to-day activities in the library, whatever it's needed here in the library.
But enough of work. So what do you like doing in your spare time?
Oh, this is a good question, because now with the restrictions, loosening up, it's good to think about that. So I like riding my bike very much. I like reading very much, and also watching movies, hang out with my friends, and spending time with my family. What about you?
Well, it's similar, of course. I like being outdoors when the weather allows it. Even now with the COVID pandemic, it's one of the only things you can do with people. So going for a walk, going for a hike, or if the weather doesn't allow it, being inside, reading a book, watching a movie or series. And when the pandemic situation is better, having a drink or so with my friends, being social with them. That's
You were mentioning that you like books and movies. And what are your favorite books and movies?
Currently, like one of the last books I read, it's the book by Margaret Atwood. It's a Canadian author, called The Handmaid's Tale, and the sequel, Testaments. It's about a dystopian future in the United States where some religious fanatics come to power. And also some other books by her I like Erikiem. But in the past, when I was a small child, I just started to reading. I loved reading the book Magical Treehouse. It's a German one. It's a whole series. I think by now they have like 100 small books. It's just about like two children having a magical treehouse, traveling through time and meeting famous people. And but all-time favorite is of course Harry Potter. And favorite film is Forrest Gump. You probably know it's a famous film. And more recent, I loved the film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's also, you probably also know it got a lot of Oscars. And a series, I would say the series is a little bit older, I think 15 years by now. It's called Lost. It has about people who have a plane crash on an island and try to survive there with a lot of weird stuff happening. More recent, I would say Better Call Saul. It's about a lawyer that is a little bit criminal. So and you? What's your favorite book, movie, series?
Okay. Again, it's a really hard question because it's really hard to choose just one. So I will go by age. So when I was younger, when I was about 10, I liked very much Alone in the World by Hector Malot. Actually, I named my cat after the monkey, the monkey that Remy befriended, like the main character in the book. And it's the story of a young child trying to meet his mother. And spoiler alert, they do meet. And when I was in high school, I was into historical novels somehow. And I like very much this book on corrupted merchants in the early Romanian states in the medieval times. It was nothing really interesting. It was like, historical dates and how they were interacting, how they were doing it. When I started in university, I also started, polishing my taste in literature. And I started reading a lot of female authors. And I have two female favorite authors. One is Adichie. Her name is a bit longer, but I'm sorry I cannot pronounce it. So I better not pronounce it, wrongly than pronounce it. And I have two favorite books from her. It's Half of Yellow Sun, that is during the Biafran Civil War in Nigeria at the end of the 60s. And it's actually the tragedy of a family, of a Nigerian family during those times. And Purple Hibiscus is a story of a Catholic priest, missionary, and also in Nigeria, and how like a teenage girl falls in love with him. But it's a bit more complicated than that, it's not just a love story. And I also like Elif Shafak, like the Turkish author. And my favorite book from her is 40 Rules on Love. And I also like reading poetry, and my favorite poetry author is Pablo Neruda and his 20 poems on love. It's also his best known poems book, whatever. And yeah. Well, it's really hard because now they are all coming, all the books I love. But I will pass to movies. So a movie that actually speaks very much to my soul is Paid Forward. Is an American movie, quite American, also in its approach. And it's the story of how a social science professor, started an experiment with his peers, with his students, and he made them pay like a good deed to 3 persons. So all the 3 persons that receive the good deed need to pay it forward, to pass it to other people, to make a good deed for other people. And it's the story of this like social experiment. It has quite a sad ending, so I also like a Polish movie called Cold War. You probably heard about it. I won't talk about it. And the latest is Call Me By Your Name. It's also a love story. Not so, popular one, but it's really nice. Wow, I really talked a lot about this.
Sticking to the theme of entertainment, so what's your favorite band, favorite music style, favorite music?
That's a really good question because I like listening to music very, very much. It's like the first thing I do in the morning, while having my coffee. I just put on my headphones and enjoy a good song. So I think my favorite artist is Manu Chao. He's Spanish, and I like all of his songs because most of them have like political themes, as I'm really interested in this side. And I like also in Spanish, and I listen to a lot of music in Spanish. And also I like very much Depeche Mode. Dave Gahan is wow. Especially their latest albums are really, really nice, and you see how they manage to transform, and adapt to the times. And it's a thing that not most of the bands can do, especially the ones starting in the 70s, 80s as they did. And also the National, it's also quite a like sad, and they get into a nostalgic, melancholic mood. It's a really nice band. So I guess these are, yeah. What about you?
I don't have like a specific band or music that I really like. I listen to pretty much everything. Most often I just turn on like some radio where random music plays. But at the moment I'm listening a lot to Bilderbuch. It's an Austrian band, not so well known. Well, in the German speaking sphere I think it's more known. Yeah. But think that's like the only thing I can say there. I'm not so much into different music styles, etc.
We talked about this food for the soul and for the brain. Now let's go to real food. Do you like cooking? What is your favorite dish, food?
So I don't like cooking. It makes me uncomfortable when I stand in the kitchen and have to do so much stuff that doesn't work out in the end and tastes bad. So, but I can do small, simple stuff. And of that, I think my favorite is toast or champignon. You just take, as the name says, it has mushrooms, onions, garlic, a little bit of cream or milk, everything mixed in the pan, fry it. Then when it's finished, you just put it on toast, bread on your plate, and then enjoy it. But I like eating, but more going to the restaurant or when talented people cook for me. So I myself, it's a catastrophe. Yeah, and you, I know that you are way better in cooking than I.
Well, you said the really low standards. I'm joking. Well, I like very much cooking, but because I learned from a really young age, because my father is a chef, so it was, you actually, learn it because it was really close to you. But I like baking more than like cooking, main dishes. And I think banana bread is like the easiest to do, and I like it very much. And you can eat it, in the breakfast at the breakfast with coffee, and but also as a dessert. And favorite food, that's also really complicated, So I will go with pasta with shrimps and red sauce because I don't like white sauce that much, like at all.
Since you do the volunteering abroad, so not where you come from, is there something like you really miss from home?
That question really touched me because I really thought about home quite a lot, especially during the lockdown now. Well, I miss very much my friends and riding my bike in the woods. I miss my family and my sister because we are really good friends. So these are the things you usually miss when you are living abroad. What about you?
Yeah, for me, well, I'm not homesick or something because I know I will get back in a few months. But I think I miss most like my 2 cats, and then I'm in the scouts, so that's something I miss, being in the woods with them, with the activities, and meeting these people that I know my whole life. I'm a scout since I'm 6 years old, so there's that. But yeah, and like something I also miss is free public transport. I hate paying for public transport, just like I was used to not paying, so there's that. Yeah.
Okay, and as you brought this subject of the end of volunteering, even though it's not that close yet, what are your plans for the future? I'd say after returning from the volunteering.
So, if I'm not yet vaccinated, I will want to get vaccinated against COVID. But after that, joining university, if they accept me, I want to study human rights and conflict studies. So I hope that works out. And another plan I have is to become vegan, or like nearly vegan, because currently I'm vegetarian, but I want to reduce dairy, eggs and stuff, so that's like a life project also. Yeah. And you, what's your plans? I know that you're further in your university career than I.
Yeah, well, I plan to finish finally my MA. I hope this in July, and pursue a career in this academic field. So I'm thinking of starting my PhD in September, but I'm not fully decide. I didn't fully decide on this. I will see how it goes, and look for a job maybe this time successfully in the NGO sector, as I worked before in this field, and and whatever life will bring. So thank you for watching. We really hope it was useful for you, and you got a grasp on how you you can make a conversation flow and what topics you can discuss. Maybe you can also pick some words that you can use, and maybe in a conversation with an English speaking person. So thank you for watching, and
see you next time.